Eric Conda here with Eric Conda TV. I know this is kind of like an impromptu, unexpected video, especially with how long it's been since I've posted a video, which I apologize. Life has been busy, but good busy, so I can't complain at all. So I won't complain the least bit. But the reason why I'm posting this video, actually, by the way, I'm hopefully to pick up my upload rate soon. But anyway, as long as I don't get shut down after this. The reason why I'm posting this video today, I actually just got home from work. It's like 100 and something degrees right now on May 28th. I'm not used to this. Actually, that's not true. I've been through this before. It's been a while since I've been through this. I got some fabric spray paint because I'm thinking about replacing my seats in my Jeep, and the seats that are getting are tan, and I want to make them black. So I was testing them out on a t-shirt, eating some dinner. An old t-shirt of mine is tan, actually. Eating some dinner, drinking water, just chilling, watching some YouTube videos while in between drying coats as they dry, when I came across a video by Angry Core. So I need to give him credit for this because I would have never noticed this video if it wasn't for this. It's actually this video right. He was reacting to this video right here. I'm obviously not gonna be as good as him, but this I figure I'm getting kind of fed up with this crap, so I'm gonna do my own video. My audience is not as good as big as his, but hey, I'm not gonna let these people speak for me. For those who know what my history is, I'm not letting these people speak for me. This is gonna be my reaction video to this. I'm gonna be honest, this is gonna be technically my third time watching this video because I watched his reaction, so I saw the clips from his reaction, then I watched it on my own all the way through to make sure he didn't leave anything out, and doing my due diligence, unlike most people these days. So this time I'm gonna watch it through, and I'm gonna give my feedback in response to it. This is I'm not okay. For those of you who may or may not, I have some experience with military, and my level of expertise of military weapons, as far as somebody that might be in the Marine Corps or Army or Special Forces like that, isn't going to be that great. But it's basic enough to understand what they're saying. This video is loaded garbage. And that's all this video is. In fact, to prove how this video is loaded garbage, by the way, this isn't scripted, this isn't rehearsed. I'm going to try to knock this out one time through. A perfect example of why this video is loaded garbage. Veterans, the video is Veterans for Gun Reform PSA March for Our Lives, posted on March 24th. A couple days before Memorial Day, when we're supposed to be honoring those who gave their lives for our country one way or another. But, they felt it was needed to posted 4 days before. I guess March for Our Lives took place that day as well for protests. I actually don't know a whole lot for March for Our Lives, and I really can care less. As you can see, and yes, I have downvoted it, the downvotes are greater than the upvotes with only 67,000 views. This is March 28th. Okay, I'm way off on this. I'll admit my emotions just got the better of me and kind of jumped the gun on this. It was posted March 24th, and so I'm like a month behind on this. It's May 28th right now. So at the time of May 28th, it's 67,000 views, 67,226 views. This is at 6:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with 5.8K downvotes, 1K upvotes, and let's see what else. I guess the show more doesn't really have anything other than that. And then as you can see, like any other, liberal video that wants to show progressivism and acceptance and all that, they disabled the comments in this video. Now, there's two reasons that are, well, one is very obvious off the bat why they did this. One, because they knew there was going to be a lot of backlash about this, and they just can't handle their sensitive little feelings to get some feedback. With that being said, I'm going to leave my comments open. Whether you're for guns or against guns, I'm going to leave it open. I welcome all those comments. I'm going to show to you how's the proper way to deal with people who are against you on the opinion. Now, there's going to be the trolls. They're going to troll you. You know what you do with those? And I'm going to say there's a future video that I'm working on this week. Is going to discuss how I view and deal with trolls. You just ignore them is the straight, short answer. And then the people who actually have constructive criticism with accurate feedback with the facts behind it. And I'm going to say facts, not opinions and feelings, facts behind it. You talk to them civilly and go through it. And that's what I'm going to do. If anybody disagrees with what I'm about to say in this video, But these guys are apparently too afraid to have constructive criticism. They'll protest all day long. They don't want any dialogue or feedback. They just disable it. Oh, boo-hoo, we're afraid to get our feelings hurt. You know, I guarantee I'm going to get, if my video gets any leeway or headway or whatever you want to call it, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of comments in there coming at me. You know what? Don't care. If you got nothing to add to, nothing substantial to add to it, then don't care. Sorry. But anyway, enough about that. We're going to get into it. And yes, I will play and pause as we go through this. So we'll go ahead and put this nice and full screen. Ignore this. I upgraded my computer and forgot to delink my Windows product key from my old motherboard. My fault. It's my first time switching out motherboards. I didn't realize that was a thing, so I had to buy a new Windows product key. I haven't gotten around to do that, so ignore that. But let's go ahead and get into it. This is like perfect. They're walking into this abandoned little village, and they're all gonna. It's gonna be a bunch of veterans saying who they are and what they did and what branch they served in. And it's just I'm not gonna get after that much. There's one very cringe moment, but you'll notice it. I'm not even gonna point it out. Let me know in the comments below if you caught the cringe moment when all these veterans are doing their introductions.
I served in the U.S. Army.
I served in the Navy.
Air Force.
Marine Corps. Hoorah.
I was a 31 Bravo military police officer.
Security Forces.
82nd Airborne.
Radio operator.
SEAL Team 1.
I was stationed at Camp Anaconda in Iraq.
In Afghanistan.
Vietnam.
My service weapon was an M4 assault rifle.
My service weapon.
Okay, first critic. Now, I got this from Angry Core, so I'm not going to take credit for this. Like I said, I am not like the go-to expert on military weapons. But from my understanding, even before watching Angry Core, the M4 is not an assault rifle. It is a carbine because it's, you know, more combat, can be collapsed and all that. But, you know, right off the bat, that's what we're going to go with. Now, nothing against, she's Air Force. Actually, I didn't even mean to stop it here. She's Air Force. Nothing against my fellow Air Force brothers and sisters out there. But very few of us actually know any diddly squat about the weapons we use in service. Most of us, our experience with weapons when we're getting ready to go off to a deployment, or maybe we got to fill out our annual required training, is we go in, we sit through half a day of class, and then we spend the other half of the day shooting. That's the extent of our experience with a weapon. That's it. No more, no less. So, I mean, obviously they're just pulling because she's a veteran, and the average civilian is going to think, you know, all of us military are ground forces with guns either side at all. I've shot only a handful of times in the military outside of my civilian recreational shooting, and I have yet to actually use it in service. And that's going to be the majority of those in the Air Force. I'm not going to speak the other branches. Those of you who are in the other branches, go ahead and say what you want. How often, and level expertise for the average person in the Army, Marine, or Navy. I know the Army and Marine are going to be more in depth, and I think the Marine more so. So correct me if I'm wrong. But she's no subject matter expert either.
Was an M16.
It's basically the same. You know what? It is the same.
As the
Not the same. But they don't really make it clear. Maybe I'm going to miss it and I don't remember correctly. The M4 and the M16 are not the same as what the civilian variants use. The only thing similar to them is the size of the caliber and the basic layout of the rifle. In my opinion, again, not subject matter expert, but I have fired the M16, I have fired the M4, and I do have I own my own AR-15, which and some of you have seen my other videos talk about my gun collection, and you're about to see again later in this video at a very particular moment. But they're not the same. The only thing is the same as the caliber, and if that's what they're going to go off of, is what makes it very similar to what we use in the military. There are many hunting rifles that use the same exact caliber. And Angry Core kind of touched on it when he said varmint gun, because yeah, I mean, you're not going to really use it to hunt anything else in the wild because it's too big to take down. But you can pick up rabbits and squirrels and raccoons all day long with you.
AR-15.
Same weapon that's killed hundreds of people in the deadliest mass shootings in America.
I know the power of this weapon firsthand.
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 And there is no reason.
No reason.
Again, power of the weapon. It's just like any other varmint gun out there. I mean, yes, those varmint guns can kill people too. And pretty much any gun can kill somebody in the right hands and used properly, and maybe even with a little bit of luck, every gun out there can kill somebody. but obviously it's the go-to. They're getting what they're trying to get to is the go-to weapon for every mass shooter. But as others, Angry Core and others like me out there pointed out, pistols are used more often in murders and other shootings. But you know, the AR-15 is the big scary one.
No reason.
Why anyone other than military and law enforcement should have an assault weapon.
Okay. First of all, an assault weapon, from what I understand from the Marine Corps definition, and I could be wrong, again, those who are in the other branches correct me, an assault weapon has safe, fire, burst, or full auto. It's a selective fire weapon. As you can see, this is definitely a civilian variant, but it says safe and fire. Now, this moment drives me up the wall. They're all crying about how unsafe and how inappropriately these weapons are used by civilians. This is why civilians shouldn't have them. But look at this videos, and these are all veterans, mind you, who are apparently subject matter experts, or as we say, SMEs, on AR-15s, M4s, and M16s. And yet, I mean, the only thing he's doing properly is his hand's nowhere near the trigger. However, the weapon's on fire with a magazine loaded. I mean, and for those, I mean, you can't tell if the bolt's back or not. I'm gonna assume the magazine is empty. Hopefully, they're not that stupid, and the bolt is forward with no round in the chamber. Hopefully, again, they're not that stupid. But given the nature of this video and how this is going, I think they're pretty stupid. But it's on fire now. I know. I've dealt with weapons and storing weapons. We do what's called rack safe. Again, in the Air Force, I can't speak for the other branches. We do what's called rack safe. And in rack safe, we have the dust flap closed, the selective fire switch on fire, and the magazine out, and the bolt forward, and you pull the trigger. Obviously, you have it in a clearing barrel. You verify the weapon's cleared before you do this. So that's probably what's the case of this weapon is, and they just decided they had the magazine for scarier effect to make you be like, ooh, scary weapon. It's so scary. Now, this is where I'm going to pull mine up. I got Angry Core pointed this out. Again, if they're so smart in the weapon. Right now, I got my gun how it would be if I was to present it to somebody. You guys can't really see in there. I have the bolt back. It's on safe. You can't really see on that side, so let me flip it around. It's on safe. Selector fire is on safe. My hands go nowhere in the trigger. It's just so I can verify it's clear. I have my stock adjusted for, I have small arms, baby arms, so mine's stock is here. Again, if these guys are subject matter experts or SMEs on AR-15s, M16s, and M4s, this is an AR-15 because all I have is safe and fire. And though there are some military grade parts on here, it's still a civilian variant. It fires 5.56, 223, which that one looks like is a 223 only, which by the way is not the same as the military because the military shoots 5.56. That's the NATO round. There's a difference. If I remember, is the grain load. I could be wrong. Again, correct me down below. 223 is not as high grain count and has as high as of a velocity. So they're wrong there. Again, not similar to an M16 or M4 because all it has is safe and fire. It's a 223 from what I can see. Oh, no, there is. That looks like that might say 5.56. I can't really see that very well. I see what looks like a 5 and a 6 right there, but it looks like a 0 in the middle. So that might be something else. But if that is a 223, that is nothing like AR-15s or M16s and M4s in service. Now mine is kind of like a mutt between the two. It's got an extended barrel, a heavy barrel, not the M4 profile barrel. It's got the kind of M4 style stock. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic, but if they're experts, no rear sight aperture. Again, Angry Core pointing this out. And then again, I mean, this has a big deal. He didn't want to make fun of him, but the stock is all the way forward. And like you said, unless you got T-Rex arms, you're not going to be shooting with your stock like that. I keep mine about there for myself personally. But it just drives me nuts that these guys, and the fact that they're pulling veterans to do this. These guys are pulling veterans to make it seem like, hey, look, all veterans are against these things. But as you can already tell, no, we're not. But I'll get into that more near the end of this video. But it's just asinine how they're portraying this whole thing as it is. They can't even get the gun right.
And like this.
And they go pulling on those heartstrings. Now these are all sad. I'm not downplaying what happened. It's horrible. It's sad. But I promise you, the people who are capable of carrying out actions like that, they don't need a military-style weapon, as they put it, to do this. But this is just a military-looking weapon. It's not a military-style weapon, in my opinion. Now I'm getting semantics, but hey, people on this side of the fence tend to be all about the PC. So, I'm not trying to downplay it, like I said. However, the people capable of carrying out mass shootings like this would have found a way, regardless if they had an AR-15 or not. In fact, I think, is it here? Sandy Hook. If I remember correctly, he couldn't legally own a gun. Unfortunately, I believe, because I was deployed when this happened, his grandmother had the gun in her house, and I believe he broke in. He tried buying a gun, was denied it because I think he was deemed mentally unstable already. By the way, there's your gun laws in effect. He broke into his grandmother's house, killed her, and then took her guns. So, again, the mentally deranged, the people sick enough to do something as horrible and atrocious as this, laws aren't going to stop them. They're going to find a way. This one particularly, I'm not as big on the history behind what happened on the other ones, because I'm at the point when I hear a mass shooting, all I worry about is the victims. I feel bad for them. I don't want to hear the details because there's going to be nothing about the gun debate on both sides, and I don't need to hear that when I just heard people lost loved ones. So, but this one I remember very particularly. He broke into his grandma, and I'll double check my sources and post in the description below, and you guys correct me in the comments. But I remember correctly, he tried buying weapons himself, was denied because of his mental issues, and I think he might even have some crimes against him. But so he ended up going to his grandmother's house, killing her with her own weapons, left the house with those guns, and proceeded to carry out the shooting. Again, criminals and the mentally deranged, laws don't matter to them. Banning these weapons all you want, it's not going to. All you can do is take guns out of hands of people like me. And by the way, I know you guys hate that argument, but it's the truth. I'm sorry for those guys that get all caught, and girls who get all caught in their fifis, but facts are facts. You don't like them, live in a fairy tale land. I don't know what to tell you. Go find your own secluded island where you can base everything off opinion and feelings. But facts are facts. All you're going to do is disarm people like me.
I fought for this country.
I believe in the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms.
But that was created 200 years ago.
Okay. Now, they're using a fact to back their opinion. However, I know this is going to drive them off the wall and say, you just talk about you can't go off of opinions and facts. But the fact is, yes, this was written 200 years ago to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government. And to protect ourselves in general, to go hunting, to do whatever we felt we needed to do with the weapons. And yes, those are muzzle-loading weapons at the time. But they had the equivalent of what the government had at the time. The civilians carried the equivalent. They had guns just as capable as the military had at the time when they wrote that law. So that's my fact to that counter argument. The other argument, which Angry Core pointed out, and many others before me has pointed out, that law is old. Times change. Yes, we carry weapons now that are more capable than what the founding fathers would ever imagine being capable of. However, like he said in his video, Angry Core did, the First Amendment was also written 200 years ago. And he pointed, I'm not going to get as much detail as he did, but he pointed out they didn't, I guarantee the angry fathers, founding fathers, I guarantee they didn't think about YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, cell phones, every other means we have to connect to people around the world in a heartbeat. I guarantee they didn't expect that to happen. Now, the only thing he said, well, are we going to start legislating that stuff and start restricting what we can and cannot do on those platforms? Outside of what those corporations are doing already, because Facebook and Twitter and YouTube are censoring. And like I said, I'll probably get censored for this too. Outside of the corporations, are we going to have the government start legislating what can and cannot be said on the internet? Now, I know there's some liberals out there who would absolutely love for that to happen, but it mainly because censor the conservative side, because how dare they be proven wrong or have somebody disagree with them. So we really don't want the government doing that, in my opinion. I do believe anything racist or violent and horrible should not be said. I think it's wrong, but they, unfortunately, according to the First Amendment, they have the right to say it. As long as they're not going to act on those words, there's not really a whole lot we can do about it. Now, if it comes off as a threat, then we can charge them with threatening, or they can get brought up on charges. I'm not into legal, but they can be brought up in charges for threatening people and stuff like that, or they can get restraining orders. There's people out there who can talk better into that.
Guns have changed a lot since then.
High-powered, rapid-fire assault rifles.
Again, I'm gonna keep referring to Angry Core because I'm obviously stealing a lot of his content. But she said rapid fire, high power. This, by the way, 223. You shoot a deer or a bear. I mean, you might be able to kill a deer with it. I'm not a hunting expert, but you shoot a deer or a bear with that, all you can do is piss them off, or a moose. You're not going to be able to kill them with one shot. So that doesn't sound very high power to me. And I know a lot of people that have survived 5.56, 223 shots. I mean, you hear it on the news all the time. So it can't, again, be that high powered. Now, she said rapid firing. In fact, I should have pulled it out. I got a pistol. So 45, I got 2 pistols that are in 45 caliber. I got a 44 Magnum revolver up there. Those rounds do far more damage and have far more power than this rifle. Yes, this is bigger and scarier looking, but those pistols can do a lot more damage and harm to people than that rifle can. The only thing that separates this from them is this can shoot more. Well, not really, because you can get extended mags for those pistols as well. And then the rapid fire, as Angry Core pointed out, pistols can shoot just as fast as an AR-15. A lot of pistols can, and some with higher calibers. And as he pointed out, and in fact, I highly recommend you watching his video. As he pointed out, the gun can fire as fast and as accurate as the shooter is able to. So, the rapid fire, high powered, yes, it's the go-to gun for the military right now, but that doesn't make it high powered. It really doesn't. I've heard a lot of people in the field complain about they don't like this gun because it doesn't have enough stopping power. They don't like having to shoot a guy multiple times to bring him down.
Like the AR-15 are meant for one thing.
One thing.
One thing.
That's not something I want in my country.
What's that one thing? What is it?
My name is Corporal Aiken.
My name is Specialist LaHaye.
Petty Officer, Second Class Day.
Corporal Williams.
Sergeant Yen.
Airman Batesel.
Staff Sergeant Howard.
Where were half these people during their arguments? Now, I doubt they did this, but since, the left tends to be doing this in the media a lot lately, how many of these people actually said they're against this stuff and wanted to be in this video? Or how many of these people are just like, hey, I'm so-and-so with such and such branch and such rank, and they just threw their face in there? Not even half these people were talking that I can remember. You guys just went through it with me.
Houseman.
Corporal Henderson.
Staff Sergeant Stacy.
Corporal De Jesus.
Specialist Delk.
Captain Bernier.
Senior Airman Rice.
Specialist Parker.
Petty Officer Williams.
My name is Sergeant Bell, and I support the ban on military-style assault rifles and safer gun laws in this country.
Yeah, again, I'm sorry. I said May 24th. It was March 24th. I saw MA and just went with it. And I know the 24th wasn't that long ago. All right. I'm going to go back. Sorry. I want to... That veterans... Okay. Veterans for Gun Reform. Those veterans, those somewhat intelligent, apparently, subject matter experts do not speak for me. Their facts are wrong. Their facts are clearly emotional based and opinion based and feeling based, because none of that would make sense to any of us who served long enough, whether or not you're somebody like me who only shot the M4 and M16 a handful of times in the career, or those who actively carry it all the time and have had to use it, unfortunately, in service. And for those of you who have served and are still serving, thank you for your service, with Memorial Day just being yesterday. I know. And don't worry, I know Memorial Day is for those who've lost their lives, not for those who are still serving, but, taking my time to say it anyway. But I honestly, something needs to start out of this, because as Angry Core said, these idiots do not speak for me. Listen, people, it's one thing if you want to get your point across and want to use certain people, certain viewpoints and all that to kind of back your point, but you know what? Stop trying to pull at people's heartstrings without facts to back this up. Stop having people, just because they got veteran in their name somewhere, and using them for your agendas. Because with only a handful of people in this video, I guarantee none of them really handle the M16 or M4 rifle. And if they did, it was very, very, very little. So they clearly don't know what they're talking about. Clearly the person editing this video does. And I don't know if this person, I don't know who this is, Dave Bucco, if he's the one that made this video or he's just sharing it on the behalf of whoever made this video. Says popular veteran advocacy group Vets4GunReform debuted this PSA video in support of the movement. So I'm assuming he just got it from them and he's sharing on their behalf, or maybe he's part of that group. But clearly they don't like handling opposition. Because I guarantee everything I just said and so much more will be brought up in these comments. And I guarantee that's what happened. That's why they've been disabled, unless they were proactive and disabled it before. But these guns, yes, they're dangerous. But any gun, any weapon, knives, bats, crowbars, anything, anybody with ill intent or ill meaning towards anybody else or a mental derangement or anything else, they're going to do these horrible things with or without this gun. Now, I'm not saying without these guns. Now, I'm not saying that means we don't try to stop violence. We don't try to stop mass shootings. I'm all for doing what we can to prevent these from happening, because obviously we don't need to keep losing lives. But to disarm those who are abiding by the law already is not going to help. It's just going to make matters worse. And this is not the answer. And like Angry Core said, and I'm sure there's many veterans out there, these guys, these idiots, whatever you want to call them, these liberals do not speak for me. And some of them, I'm not going to point out who, clearly did not serve very long in the military. Now, that doesn't, before anybody gets all up in arms, I did not degrade anybody who may not have served short in the military, because obviously injury, combat injuries, service injuries, illness, personal reasons, people don't serve all the way through, and that does not degrade their service. But most of the time, from my personal experience, and again, for those who've been in my situation before, those who talk like this didn't like the military or cared less about the military and got out within the first or second term in the military on their own terms, not because they've been injured in combat, not because they got injured on duty, not because they got sick, not because of personal reasons. They're just like, you know what, the military life is not for me, or they wanted the free ride for college or whatever. So chances are, I'm not gonna say everybody in this video, but chances are a lot of these people in this video are that person I'm talking about. They can care less about their service, and they only use the term "I'm a veteran" when it's convenient to them, like using this video. And honestly, if you served and you feel this way, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for your ignorance. I really am. Hey guys, just one quick thing before this video ends. I just want to add it real quick. If you guys like this video, please show some support, some love, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But actually the more important reason why I'm adding this little tidbit here is, if you agree with me, explain why with facts and details why you agree with me. And if you disagree with me, also come at me with facts and details why you disagree with everything I had to say. I mean, I'm curious to what people think and feel out there. I want to have a good, healthy discussion about this. And I think that's the issue we're having these days, is there's not enough healthy discussions about these issues. I mean, I did kind of attack the creators of this video and the people in that video that I was reacting to. But it's because it's just irritating and annoying, because they just can't get their facts straight, and they try to play on everybody's emotions and feelings. They tried by showing the pictures of the shootings. They tried bringing up how it's the favorite weapon of mass shooters, and they tried using veterans to tug at the heartstrings and not really use facts. So I want to have healthy discussions with facts. Again, I'm not going to delete any comments. I'm not going to censor anybody. If you come attacking emotionally and don't have anything to back it up, then we're just not going to go any further. But in the meantime, if you want to see more, here my videos will be up here for you to click, and then click like and subscribe down below.